Hi, I'm Neil Marshall, and this is Trailers from Hell, and I'm here to talk about Escape from New York. Not John Carpenter's first film, but the first John Carpenter film that I did see, and I saw it in the early 80s on Betamax of all formats. So yeah, back in the day, before there was format wars between PlayStation and Xbox and such like, there was a format war between VHS and Betamax, and most people bought VHS. My next door neighbor bought a Betamax player, and that's where I got to see Escape from New York, and I think it just totally changed my life. Escape from New York came out as part of this wave of post-apocalyptic movies in the early 80s that included Mad Max, and spawned films like After the Fall of New York and Bronx Warriors, and even a Duran Duran video. It was shot in St. Louis, Missouri for $6 million, and they chose St. Louis because a few years before there'd been a massive fire that left huge parts of the city derelict and abandoned, so that it was perfect for what they were looking for. Carpenter apparently wrote the film in reaction to the Watergate scandal, though aside from its anti-authoritarian stance, it's not entirely clear where the connection is. Carpenter also cast several actors he'd worked with before and would work with again, including Donald Pleasence, Tom Atkins, Frank Doubleday, and Charles Cyphers, and even Jamie Lee Curtis does the voice of the narration. He also cast soul singer Isaac Hayes, who plays the awesome Duke of New York, riding around Manhattan with crystal chandeliers mounted on the hood of the Cadillac like a pimp crossed with Liberace. But surely the casting coup of all time was to give Kurt Russell the iconic role of Snake Plissken, one of the all-time great anti-heroes. And Russell's performance, sneered out through gritted teeth, is just absolutely legendary. One thing that you definitely can't avoid talking about with this movie is the score. Ever since I saw the movie, I got the soundtrack and just have listened to it ever since. I have it in so many versions now and constantly listen to the score. It's so evocative. It's pure Carpenter, pulse-pounding synth stuff, but also it has like influences from Debussy and stuff like that in it. So it's a very awesome score. If you look at the credits, you'll spot a very young James Cameron was responsible for some of the visual effects. And also, like for years now, they've threatened to remake this movie like a lot of John Carpenter's early movies, but so far that hasn't emerged yet. I guess I kind of did that myself a bit with Doomsday, but luckily Carpenter approved, so it was okay.
John Carpenter's Escape from New York, the high adventure of the future.